So good Thursday afternoon, everyone. Welcome to lecture 5, Maths for Construction. We did some work last week, just a review. We spoke about HCF. We know about HCF of numbers. We spoke about how finding HCF of algebraic terms. We need that in order to find, in order to factorize the expression. Okay, so if you have an expression here, if you know the HCF, you could write the HCF on the outside and the most efficient factored form we could represent, right? So there are many ways to factor a question. We did this, there's 5 of many ways where you could factor this question here, but the most efficient way is to put the HCF on the outside. You would know it's the HCF because there are no common factors inside the square bracket, the terms inside the square bracket, the curve bracket, sorry. We did lots of examples of factorization, and our aim is to continue with this today for lecture 5, okay? So the expansions that we did last week involve multiplying something by some term outside, like 2xy here, by things in brackets. We have several things in brackets. What we want to talk about today is what happens when you have several brackets and you need to multiply them? What do you do? Okay. So you all should remember the distributive law. It's here, right, for you. Distributive law. If A, B, and C are numbers, then the following holds. Okay. If you want to multiply some things in brackets by a number on the outside A, we just multiply each thing by the stuff outside the bracket. Okay. Now we could extend this this idea here, right? Let me duplicate this. We could extend this idea to the product of 2 brackets. So what if I have, say x plus y? X plus y is being multiplied by b plus c. Okay. So what I could do is think of the x plus y as a. Okay, and this formula up here. It really is a formula. Okay, it says multiplication distributes over addition. So instead of first adding b plus c and then multiplying by a, we multiply a by b and then we multiply a by c and we add them. So in this question here, I could say, you could say let a be equal to x plus y. Okay. So if I let a be equal to x plus y, then what would I get in the next line? I would get a by b plus c equals ab plus ac. Okay. Now we have to substitute for a. Okay. So since a is equal to xy, we'll get this expression here. Wherever you see a, you put x plus y. Okay. So I'm making a substitution. I have 2 brackets and I need to multiply them. I said let's the first bracket be a. So essentially I have a by b plus c. From up here, using distributive law, A by B plus C is AB plus AC. But since A is equal to XY, AB plus AC, AB plus AC is equal to A by B plus A by C. And if we expand this out using the distributive law again, right? I could write B in front and C in front. So this same line here, remember 2 by 3 is 3 by 2. Multiplication is a commutative operation. The order of the operands is not important. 5 by 6 is 6 by 5. So x plus y multiplied by b is the same as b by x plus y. Same thing going on here. And then I can use the distributive law again to expand this out. So I could say here, this is b by x, right? Let's multiply it out. That's bx plus by plus cx plus cy. And this AB plus AC is really this up here. Okay. So to multiply our two brackets, what we are saying here, each element in the first bracket must be multiplied by each element in the second bracket. That's really what is happening here. Okay. So I will take x multiplied by b and c, then take y and multiply by b and c. If I have two terms in the first bracket and two terms in the second bracket, I will get 4 terms. 2 by 2 is 4. Okay. We could try a different example. So there's the motivation behind it here. I could do some examples. So if I have x plus 1, x plus 1, x plus 2, and I want to know what this is equal to. Okay. There's an algorithm to do this. Multiply everything in the first bracket by everything in the second bracket. So pick something from the first bracket, x, right? So we take an x from the first bracket and we multiply by everything here. So this is x by x plus 2 plus and 1, right? So you write plus 1, right? That's why I have plus 1 into x plus 2. Okay, this is the algorithm here. You write the second bracket 2 times and you put each term in the first bracket in front of these brackets here. So I could share the algorithm. The algorithm is this, right? When you see something like this, you write the second bracket twice. Okay, write the second bracket twice. That's the first thing. Then in front of the first bracket, put the first term, which is x. And in front, the second bracket here, put the second term here, plus 1. So plus 1. Okay, that's what you do. And now we just expand it out. So x by x is x squared. You could say x squared plus x by 2 is 2x plus 1 by x is x. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 2. Okay, these two middle terms are like terms. So this is x squared plus 3x plus 2. Okay, that's how you would do that. There are other algorithms to do this, but it boils down to the same thing essentially. You multiply everything in the first bracket by everything in the second bracket. Or we say, take each item in the first bracket and multiply by each item in the second bracket. So I could say, well, take this x here, right? The x by x and the x by 2, okay? So x, the first element here, x, I multiply by everything in the second bracket. So x by x is x squared. And then x by 5, positive 5 is positive 5x. Now I'm finished with the x, so I go to plus 3. Plus 3 by this x now is plus 3x. And plus 3 by plus 5 is plus 15. And then we combine the like terms together. 5x plus 3x is 8x plus 15. All right. The third example shows you need to be careful with your signs. So again, x, first element here by everything in the second bucket. X by x is x squared. X by negative 2 is negative 2x. Then you go to negative 4. Negative 4 by everything in the second bracket. Negative 4 by x, negative 4x. And negative 4 by negative 2 is plus 8. Okay? So you get your x squared minus your 6x plus 8. Yeah, you all understand how I get that 6x there, negative 6x. Minus 2 minus 4. When you add in negative numbers and they have the same sign, you add the coefficients and keep the sign. Okay? So I think everybody got that right in the chat based on what I see. So good job, right? So we're gonna get a little bit harder now, right? We have numbers in front of the x term. And we may have 1 as the second term here. So let's see how to handle that, right? So have fun with that. Same algorithm, just take your time. So take the first term in the first bracket and multiply everything in the second bracket. 2x by 3x, 6x squared. 2x by minus 5x, minus 10x. Then you do the same thing for the second term. Take the second term here, negative 3, and multiply by everything in here. So minus 3 by 3x, minus 9x, minus 3 by minus 5, plus 15. The second and third term we could combine because they are like terms, they are x terms, right? So that is minus 10 minus 9, that's minus 19x plus 15. Okay. Second one here. First term by everything here. 4x by 2x, 8x squared. 4x by minus 1, minus 4x. Minus 1 by 2x, minus 2x. Minus 1, plus 1. Combine two middle terms. They are usually like terms. Minus 4 minus 2 is minus 6x, and then plus 1. Those are the answers for that there. So we have a more interesting one now, where you have two sets of two brackets. The idea is expand this separately and expand this separately. Okay, so I'll help you out here. What you should do is rearrange the question more like this, where you use like say square brackets or something, just to capture the different parts. Doesn't seem to like this at all. Okay. What I recommend you do is put curly brackets around each product, expand the product separately, and then when you remove the curly brackets, this minus sign will affect all the terms inside of here. You'll have to multiply all the terms inside the second curly bracket by the negative sign. So you'll have to get comfortable being able to do computations like this. Take your time and do computations like this. So that's where we want to head towards. All right. Try this question. So we're gonna write the question again and expand it this time, right? Each one. So I have two brackets, well, two curly brackets, right? It's good to split up your work like this. So I have two curly brackets and a minus sign between them. Let's work on the left-hand side. Left-hand side, I have x by 3x, 3x squared. X by negative 2 minus 2x. 1 by 3x plus 3x. And 1 by negative 2, negative 2. So this looks like the answer for that part. Now the next bracket, 2x by x, 2x squared, 1 by x plus x, 2x by minus 4 minus 8x, and 1 by negative 4 is negative 4. So this is what I have so far. Right. Now we just write the question again and simplify it. Minus 2 plus 3 is 1. So there's a 1 here. And minus, well, 1 minus 8. That is negative 7. Okay. Now, when this is where I think people make any mistake is when they remove this minus sign, they're forgetting to multiply all of this here by negative. Okay. So, oops. When you remove the brackets, this part here is fine, but this curly bracket here, when you remove this bracket, this minus sign has to interact with everything here. This minus sign is like minus 1 by all of this, you know. Remember that 1 is invisible there. So this is negative 1 multiplied by all of these guys here. So when you remove that bracket, the 2 will become negative. The 7 will become positive. And the 4 would become positive. And then you collect like terms together. So the 3 and the 2, 7 and the 8, and negative 2 and 4. And what you'll get, 3 minus 2 is 1x squared. 7 plus 1 is 8x. Minus 2 plus 4 plus 2. So as you see, there's a little bit of working. But take your time. And as usual, negative signs are a cause of problems. So this is something a little bit different. Try this question here. It's a little bit easier than the one above because I think I feel I had to ramp you all up until you all could do some of this, right? So have fun with that one. What we'll do, we'll rewrite the question and work out the expansion first. So what I do, I would put brackets around it, middle part that is, right? And I know I'll get 4 terms here, right? I know I'll get 4 terms inside this curly bracket here. So x by 2x, 2x squared x by 1 is plus x, minus 4 by 2x, and minus 4 by 1. If I rewrite this question over, I could combine the like terms, right? 1 minus 8 is minus 7. And now we have removed the curly brackets. Now there's a plus sign in front of it. So you could safely remove that curly bracket. You don't need to worry too much about the signs because there's a plus sign in front of the curly bracket, okay? If it was a minus sign in front of it, you would have multiplied each of these three terms by -1. Now we could probably, I have a 4 here and I have a -4, but let me write it. Okay, like this. Oh, and the x is here. So -7 plus 1 is -6. And -4 plus 4, that's all 0. Okay, this -4 cancels with this +4, so I get 0, and this is the final answer. You can factorize this. Okay, 2x is 8 CF, and 2x by 3 is 6x. So this is the answer here. Try example 8. Do it in the same manner. I'm just writing over this question here. Just putting some curly brackets around it to split up all of it. X by 2x, 2x squared, x by +1 plus of x, -4 by 2x, minus 8x, -4 by +1, -4. So plus x minus 8x is -7x. And then we just remove the brackets. We get nothing really changes because the sign in front of the brackets is positive. Then we could arrange like terms together. So this 11x (11 minus 7 is 4. -4 plus 4 goes to 0. And then this could easily factorize. Okay, you get our answer there. So try this one. More practice. Just like before, I'm gonna rewrite this question. I'm gonna put some brackets around it. And it's always good to present your work like this. Makes it easier to see. So 2x by 4x, 8x squared, my 2x by minus 3 minus 6x, right? This by this. Now minus 1 by 4x minus 4x minus 1 by minus 3 is plus 3. So 8x squared minus 10x plus 3. And then when you remove the brackets, you're really gonna get a question where you could move like terms around. Okay, so plus 10x minus 10x, this will go to 0. So this is 8x squared plus 8, because minus 10x plus 10x is 0. This factorizes 8x x plus 1. Sorry. So let us factorize 8, right? That's all we really able to do here to get that question. Sometimes you're given a question and it's not immediately obvious that you have to expand 2 brackets, okay? For example, what if I give you this question here? So what if I said 2x minus 3 all squared? How would you do this? What is the definition of squared? Squared means is the bracket multiplied by itself, right? So you just say equal this twice, and then you just expand it, okay? So these questions from before, the 2 brackets you have to multiply, they were different. But this questions, when you see square, the 2 brackets are the same. So this is 4x squared minus 6x minus 6x plus 9. Right? This is how you would expand two brackets here. It's just that these brackets is the same. Right? Everybody cool with us? So try this question here. Take your time. It's very much similar to this first one here, where you have two sets of two brackets. You have two sets of two brackets here. Take your time and simplify this, and it will get harder and harder. So the idea really is to do it kind of like this one here, where you put curly brackets between the two sections. Okay. So basically, you have something like this, where you have curly brackets around everything. Now, the left-hand expression inside curly brackets, you want to multiply that out. So, where we go here now? X by x, x squared, minus 2 by x, minus 2x. X by 1 is x, and minus 2 by 1 is minus 2. So I multiply every term in the first bracket by every term in the second bracket. So you can multiply these two terms by x and then these two terms by 1. That's another way you could do it, right? So now I need to work out this part here. So this is x squared. X by x is x squared. X by 3, so it's 3x. 3 by x is 3x, and 3 by 3 is 9. Okay. Now you combine the like terms in each bracket first. So this is minus x, and this is 6x. Minus 1 plus 1 is minus 1, and 3 and 3 is 6. Now, if you're removing brackets, be careful, because see this minus sign in front of this curly brackets here? This minus sign will multiply by everything. So if I remove the negative sign, there's a negative sign in front of the x squared, the 6x, and the 9x. So we could combine like terms together. X squareds could be here. Right? So x squared minus x squared is 0. So the x squared goes away. Minus x minus 6x is minus 7x. And minus 9 minus 2 is minus 11. Technically, if you want to factorize this, you could say Could pull out the minus sign, and this is 7x plus 11. If you wanted to factorize it, there's the only way you could really factorize it because all the numbers have a minus sign in front of it, okay? So try this question here. They're very similar to how I do it up there. Put curly brackets around each expression, expand it, then collect like terms together. Then when you remove the sign, you may or may not have to multiply several terms by -1. Have fun with this. So rewrite the question. And rewrite the brackets next to each other, because it might be easier to see. Right? So x minus 3 by x minus 3, 2x plus 1 by 2x plus 1. Now we try and figure out what the expansion is. So x by x is x squared. -3 by x, -3x, x by -3, -3x, and -3 by -3 is +9. This one now, 2x by 2x is 4x squared. 1 by 2x, 2x, 2x. 1 by 1 is 1. So you collect like terms together now. It's -6 +4. Then we remove brackets. This one, brackets removal, is a little simpler because we have a plus sign. So the signs don't change in the second brackets. And you combine the like terms together. This is 5x squared minus 2x plus 10. That's the final answer there. Okay. We could do some combination questions. So try this question here. Take your time. This could be troublesome. So this one, I need to take my time with this, right? Yeah, a large part is planning. You see, like, like when you're building a house, you have to plan that. You have a lot of planning that goes into building a house. Doing maths is a lot of planning. You have to plan yourself out. And one of the best ways to plan is to, rewrite the question and put in some symbols to organize how you're gonna do it. All right. So what I would do is put some brackets around this thing here. Curly brackets here. Curly brackets here. And just rewrite over the question. Now you change 3x minus 2 squared with 3x minus 2. Okay. So you plan yourself out, you put brackets around these things, then you expand it out, you write the brackets twice, and now you're ready to actually do the work. So this 3x minus 2 all squared here, 3x by 3x is 9, 9x squared, 2 by 3, this is minus 6x, 3 by 2 is minus 6x, and then negative 2 by negative 2 is plus 4. For the 2x by x, that is 2x squared. 2x by x is 2 squared, minus 1 by x, minus x. 2x by minus 5, minus 10x. Minus 1 by minus 5, plus 5. So we could combine some like terms together. This is minus 12x. And this down here, there's minus 11. Minus x minus 10x is minus 11x. Now we want to remove the brackets, okay? Now be careful when you're removing these brackets now, because it's okay for the first one, because the first bracket in front of the 9 there's a positive sign here, so it's fine. But here you have a minus sign, so I'll be very careful. It means every one of these 3 terms here will be multiplied by negative 1. So the positive in front of this 2x squared here, which is invisible, becomes negative. This negative 11x, that becomes positive. And this 5 becomes minus 5. Okay, and then you take out our brackets there. Now we want to kind of put like terms together. So this 1 here, I'm going to write it at the end as really positive 1. So I'll take it out from there. This 2x squared, this negative 2x squared, I could put it after the 9. The 11x, I could put it next to this minus 12x, and the minus 6x, I could put it just after the 11x, right? So let me make sure, right? I have 9 and the 2, minus 12, 11, minus 6, 4, minus 5, and 1, okay? So 9 minus 2, 7x squared. Minus 12 plus 11 does minus 1. And minus 1 minus 6 is minus 7x. And 4 minus 5 is minus 1. Minus 1 plus 1 is 0. So I get 7x squared minus 7x. So 7x into x minus 1. Okay, when you do factorize at the end. And that's the answer there, essentially, right? Feels like a lot of work, but planning and taking your time and writing over the question several times. Actually, this is how you show all your working, and this is how you get your full marks, right? Now remember, I will give you all an assignment, and you all will take home that assignment, and you'll have several weeks to do it. So it's in your interest to show all your work, and it's not like you have a 2-hour exam where you had to cut corners and finish a question fast, right? So my advice is to show all your work and like how I do it here. Teaching you all principles, you might have to unlearn certain things that you learned from before, or maybe you forget it and you're just learning it over again from the first, like if it's the first time, that's fine. But I suggest you do things the way I'm doing it here, because this is based on years of me optimizing this process to do advanced mathematics, okay? So hope everybody understands this answer here. So we went through a lot of things today, how to, the product of two brackets. This is a very important thing. Sometimes the brackets are different, and sometimes the brackets are the same. Like, where is it? Like 2x minus 3 squared, right? But at the end of the day, it's two brackets, right? Whether they're different or the same, it's the same principle involved in doing it, right? So you see here, when I see 3x minus 2 squared, I just write the bracket twice, so that visually by eyesight, I know it's two brackets. So it's the same algorithm I use, and I'll say these two fellas here, okay? I want you all to do this for me. Expand this, write the terms in alphabetical order, and tell me what you get here. So I know you take your time, right? So I'll say, okay, I'll pick A and I'll multiply everything in the second bracket by A. So A by A is A squared, and A by B is positive AB. And now I do the same for negative B. Negative B by A is minus AB. A by B is B by A. There's no difference. So you should probably write it in alphabetical order, right? That's how you will see what I'm heading towards, right? And negative B by plus B is negative B squared. Okay. Now I could simplify this some more. The AB minus AB goes to 0. Right? This AB, positive AB and minus AB, they cancel each other out. So I have A squared minus B squared, right? So the product of these two brackets here is the difference of two squares. So what I typically do is approach it as a formula in the reverse method, right? So the difference of two squares is actually equal to the product of two brackets. This is the summary of it here, right? So as a summary formula here. Anytime you see difference of two squares, the first square, you take that term, and the second square, you take that term B, right? You multiply two brackets, so you subtract them and you add them. It don't matter the order, right? You could add them and then multiply by the difference, right? Let me give you some examples here. You might be wondering, how the hell is use this, right? Example 14. Like say I ask you this is really factorizing, huh? It's really factorizing. So if I have, say, m squared minus 4, if I ask you to factorize this, but some of you will be like, well, I have nothing in common here, right? I have nothing in common. But this is the difference of two squares. This is you know, m comes like a and 4 is really b squared. So I could write this as m squared minus 2 squared. Not so? Isn't 4 2 squared? So this is a squared minus b squared. You just plug it in the formula. So this is 2 brackets here. This is, you add up the 2 things, right? M plus 2, and then you subtract them, m minus 2. That's how you factorize that. If you multiply this out, you'll get back m squared minus 4. Okay? Try y squared minus 9. Factorize that. Now, some students like the fact that the first of 2 squares is actually a formula. If you can memorize this formula, you're good to go, right? But the idea is, if you have 2 squares, you need to recognize these 2 squares first. So this is y squared minus 3 squared. Okay. Now the thing being squared, this is a, and this thing being squared, this is b. So a is y and b is 3. So you immediately write 2 brackets here. You add them up, y plus 3, and then you subtract them, y minus 3, and you finish. Okay. So we will continue with this next class. We'll do harder examples. But the reason why I'm teaching you this is to make you do less work with certain questions. Certain questions you don't need to expand like this here. There's a simpler way that could cut the number working down in like about half. Okay. And it's very useful to recognize that I have to train your eyes. Okay. Your eyes need to train to see things. Okay. You have to have enough familiarity with math to see certain things happening in front of you. Once I train your eyes and you're able to see it with practice, you'll realize that have a lot of shorter ways to do these things. Okay. And you won't kill yourself out writing 10 lines and expanding things out.